the gear here. Can poverty do good to one? It means, can poverty become the strength? Think, think over this. We say poverty is bad,
Yes, sir.
but I say poverty can be strength. Poverty can give us something. What?
The poverty
Anybody?
increases the health risk.
Who is there? Nitesh?
Yes, sir.
You joined late. What you are saying?
The poverty increases the health risk as adults and the lower income individuals experience
Hmm.
uh, higher rates of illness and sickness, diseases, and disabilities than those who have higher incomes.
Hmm.
They have,
You mean to say that their lifestyle disease, if one is poor, then at least he or she will not be suffering from lifestyle disease, which are seen in modern days in cities.
they have higher rates of chronic disease such as hypertension, blood pressure problem,
Okay,
and many.
one will be aware. We can say one will be aware from lifestyle disease, modern lifestyle disease.
Sir,
I'm just
desire to
writing.
do more. Desire to do more.
Okay. And you write that one will be away from modern. What Deepika you were saying? Desire to.
Sir, desire to do more.
Okay, you mean to say that if one is poor, then he or she will uh, get a type of desire of fire.
Sir, yeah, nahi, sir, they
Hmm.
work hard for. Sir, they work hard for all things they want.
Okay, I
They work
get your
really.
point, and I wanted this point actually. So
Yes, sir.
poverty, it becomes a type of drive. It becomes a type of drive for us.
Yes, sir.
DRIVE, we call it, or we call it fire. It becomes a fire for us.
Yes, sir.
This is the thing that those people who are poor, they have a type of drive. They want to do something. Many of the poor people you have seen, they have reached top. The reason is that because they want to do something, they have nothing. They want to get something. They want to send their children to school. They want to give facilities to their family. So they work hard. As this girl was saying, they work hard. They have a drive. Drive means a force. This is actually a technical term. It is a force. So they get a type of force, they get a type of backup, and that backup comes from poverty. So we cannot say that poverty is only bad. Poverty is a type of, it is a drive, it is a fire, it is a force for us. So it is not good that if one is poor, it does not mean that everything is gone. No, one can bounce back, one can come to the top. And there are many examples in the history that many people, there is a phrase I'll get some space here. Phrase is, I am reading, you will just I'm writing, you will read it. Sorry, I'll just write the phrase here, and then you will explain me. Okay, read it. What is this?
Rags to riches.
Rags to riches. Okay, in Hindi we call it guddi ke lal. Okay, in Hindi there is a phrase guddi ke lal, yani somebody born in a very very dire condition, but he or she reached top. So this is that the drive is there, fire is there. Okay, we come to the next slide. Now we are talking something about the tradition. Okay, tradition in Hindi we call it क्या कहते हैं हम इसको, ट्रेडिशन को?
So chalan prachlan.
Parampara.
चलन,
Chalan Krishnan.
चलन भी नहीं है, और कुछ है इसके लिए वर्ड, ट्रेडिशन,
Sir, parampara.
परंपरा. Now this is the right word, tradition. So now my slide says that tradition good or bad. Like poverty we discuss, similarly tradition helps. When it helps, I'll jot down your response here. We all have traditions. We
Sir, it
follow.
helps.
Huh.
It, it helps in maintaining our moral values and get together of families.
Okay, moral values. I am just writing down. Moral values contains moral values. We just keep moral values forward. All right. My sound is echoing. What is the problem? Okay, now it is fine. Uh, Moral value. Any other answer?
Tradition bonds the people.
Tradition. What?
Bonds the people.
Bond. You mean to say it unites? It keeps people
Yes, sir.
together.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Student can also keep their sound unmuted, and they can respond. Those who have the answer, they can respond. Uh, Tradition keeps people together. Okay. All right. Now we will come to harm because we cannot go for more. This you can do brainstorming. Everybody can do brainstorming after the chapter. Uh, Tradition sometimes harms. Like poverty was good, poverty was bad also. Similarly, tradition is also bad sometimes. It causes problem. It causes disturbance. Yes? When? When it causes disturbance.
So when there is so much of involvement.
When there is so much of involvement. Can you give some example? Can you quote some example? She is saying when we become we become fundamentalist. Okay. When there is the fundamental and we become fundamentalist. We become too much attached to it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, for example, I say that there are, India is a country of all religions, all faiths, all beliefs, and we say that only Hindu practices are good, only Hindu god goddess is good. Whatever is written in Ved and Shastras, that is good. And suppose the marriage ceremony, which is uh, which takes place in northern India, that is the best ceremony, or this is the best tradition, this is the best habit. So when we become too much attached, when we become fundamentalists, then it is bad. Okay, so tradition. Now my one question is that should tradition remain similar, or there is possibility to change them? Tradition can change also. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. There tradition keep on changing. For example, those practices, those ritual practices, which took place 100 years back in our country. Imagine the marriage ceremony of 100 years back. Okay. That time, for example, we are talking about the marriage. The bride would not meet the groom beforehand. But these days, what is there? There are hundreds of meetings between bride and groom before the marriage. In olden days, what happened? Somebody's sound is on, and that is causing disturbance. In olden days, what happened? For example, the parents decided that my son would marry with the daughter of that gentleman. The boy and girl did not know each other. They got ready. But today, will any boy and girl get ready easily? Suppose the father says that, okay, son, I'm going to marry you next month, and you don't know the girl. Will the boy get ready?
No,
Yes
sir.
or no? No,
No, sir.
definitely no. Why? Because the tradition has changed now. Now the tradition is there. The marriage ceremony, it has become more transparent. There is the say of boy, there is the say of girl, education has increased. So we cannot say that the 100 years back or 50 years back that was wrong. And we cannot say what we are doing today that is only right. No, because it is the need of the time, it is the change that is taking place. So these are the things which are going to be discussed in the chapter which we are going to read today. We are talking about the tradition, we are talking about the poverty, we are talking about the change, we are talking about the time, what happens, and that chapter we are going to begin now. So this is the lost spring. Normally spring is a season, and this season just gone, lost spring. Here the spring does not mean that season. Here means a part of life, a time of the person's that is when he or she can do something good. So here spring is just like a season. Spring season is the season of beginning, when new leaves are there and new development is there. So the writer is talking something about, he is telling us some stories where the beginning was lost. Where the beginning was lost, how the beginning was lost? Because something happened, either poverty or tradition or something was there. So we have here, the writer is Anish Jung. And Anish Jung was a journalist. She was a journalist. She has written many books also. She studied abroad also. She has worked on some magazines also. Now Anish Jung is the narrator here. Now in every lesson, in every chapter, there is a narrator. Here the narrator is Anish Jung, the author, a female author. Now Anish Jung, author tries to convey that poverty and tradition lead to exploitation of children. Now in this, because in the previous slides we read that both poverty and tradition can be bad, can be good also. But here the author is simply saying that tradition and poverty, these two things, they lead to exploitation of children. They exploit many people, but in this chapter she is talking about the children's exploitation, that how children suffer because of that. What happened one day, author meets Sahib. Sahib is a boy here, a hardly 11, 12, 13 years old boy. She met him one morning, and what Sahib was doing, he was collecting scrap. Scrap, this, for example, plastic bottles and metals, scrap metals. So junk dealer, you might have seen the junk dealer, you might have seen rag pickers. We call them kabadi in Hindi. So Sahib is working the work of kabadi, and early morning he is outside, and he is collecting these things from the garbage houses, garbage dumps, outside of a school there is a garbage house. So you might have seen that small children sometimes they are doing the work of this rag pickers. Now the term is the rag picker. Rag picker means those people who collect some rags, and these rags, out of these rags, something is of resale value. For example, metal, for example, plastic bottle, for example, any other thing, wood piece. So this boy is collecting garbage outside, and author meets him in the morning. Anything which can be sold, and the garbage, what is garbage? What is the scrap? Scrap is anything which can be sold to junk dealer. Junk dealer is a big dealer. When these collect scraps, then they go and sell that with the junk dealer. Now here is one phrase written: anything which can be sold to junk dealer is like gold gold from garbage. Now this phrase, read this phrase: gold from garbage. Gold from garbage. Okay, gold is not coming out of garbage, but anything which they can sell to the junk dealer, that is equal to gold for them. Why it is equal to gold? Because it will give them money. They will sell that, they will get the money out of that. Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sound is clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, who is this Sahib? Some people's sounds are still creating noise because they have not put their just microphone on mute mode. So please do that. Now, who is this Sahib? And who are his friends here? They are migrant from Bangladesh. Okay, you know that in Semapuri area in northeast Delhi, there are many people whom we call migrant people. Okay, so they are migrant from Bangladesh. Sahib has nothing to do. Okay, migrant from Bangladesh. Sahib has nothing to do. He is not going to any school. Nothing to do means he is doing rag picking. He is doing rag picking, but he is not going to school. No school around. There is no school around, and this situation we are talking about Semapuri. Semapuri, you know, very close. This is close to our school. So he is talking about Semapuri. The author is talking about Semapuri. That time there was no school around. When she asked him that, will you go to school? He says, yes, we'll go. I'll go to school if there is one. And within the bracket, I have written that there are around 1 dozen government schools today in this locality. If we count the schools, then Semapuri, Dilshad Garden, then New Semapuri, maybe C Block. So there are around 1 dozen government school. I am talking about senior secondary school. There are many primary schools also, MCD schools also. But that time there might not have been any school. So Sahib says that I'll go to school in case I get a school. In my area, there is no school. What does it mean? It means that the boy who is collecting the garbage, he has a desire to learn. He has a wish to study. Only the condition is that he has no school in that area. Then author makes a joke. Author Anish Jan, he plays a joke. Okay. What she says? She says that if I open a school, then will you join? Then he says, yes, I'll join. So author said that out of joke. She said that I'm going to open a school. Will you join the school? So author was joking. I have written author's joke, Sahib's seriousness. Author was simply joking, but Sahib was serious. Author is elderly person, grown-up person, a type of educated person. Sahib is a young boy and he has not gone to school. He is serious to attend the school. So Sahib's queries about he is just asking after some time when he met the author next day, then he asked her that have you opened the school? And author was simply joking. Author was not going to open the school. It means Sahib took that again. He wanted to know that if there was a school. So there is a desire. What I was saying in the previous slide, we were saying that there is a fire, there is a drive. So here is the drive with author. Author has a drive to learn, drive to go to school, drive to get some education, drive to do something good in life. Many promises are made, but few are kept. And this, the author, finally, when you read the text, author says that elderly people make many promises to small children, but these promises are not kept. Not kept means not fulfilled. We make promise that I will do this thing, I will give you this thing, that thing, but we do not fulfill these promises. Many times parents also make promises to their children, but they do not fulfill. So this brings a type of a loss of trust and bad thing. What is there? Suppose I make a promise to you that next year, as soon as the school opens, we will go on a picnic. We'll go to India Gate and have lunch there. And suppose I do not do that, what will happen? There will be a breach of trust. It means you will think that sir simply says anything which is not possible, and he did not stick to his promise. So this breach of trust passes from generation to generation. When the people start telling lie, why they tell lie, why they make promises and break? Because they get this from their elderly people, from their parents, from their teachers, from their higher, guardians, etc. So this writer is very much serious about that. I should not have talked to the boy like this. If I told him that I'm going to open a school, then she should have gone to open the school. But it is not possible. Opening a school is not possible for one journalist and one writer, because it requires house, it requires fund, it requires money. She simply wanted to know that whether he has a desire to study or not. And he said that yes, he had a strong desire to go to school. What he is doing at present? He is doing rag picking. He is collecting garbage. Now, Sahib, he introduces himself. When she asks his name, then Sahib gave his complete name, and he says that my name is Sahib Alam. Now this is his complete name, Sahib Alam. This is a Momnan name, Sahib Alam, and this name has a different meaning. The meaning of this name is Lord of Universe, Lord of Universe, यानी पूरे ब्रह्मांड का राजा. So Sahib is doing rag picking. He is a poor boy. He is living in that slum, and his name is Sahib Alam. Okay, if he knows that what is the meaning of his name, suppose he comes to know that the name of his meaning means the Lord of the Universe. Would he believe that he is the Lord of Universe? He would believe or not? There is a question.
No.
Suppose Sahib comes to know that the meaning of his name is Lord of Universe, the owner of the whole world. So, will he believe or not?
No, sir.
Why he will not believe?
So because his condition is not that.
His condition is not good. He is suffering. He is not going to school. His parents are not getting proper food. He is not getting proper food. That's why. Very good. So here in this situation, there is irony. We just when we are talking about the literary devices. So one of the literary devices is irony. 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 Irony means when two different things are related to each other. For example, his name is Sahib Alam, but he is doing rag picking. He is a poor boy. He is living in pathetic condition. So this is the condition of this boy. Now we go to the next slide. Sahib and his friends, they leave houses early in the morning, and they are barefoot. Barefoot means they don't have any slippers and shoes. Now the writer has used one expression, barefoot army. Barefoot army means all children are without any slippers, without any shoes. They leave home early morning for rag picking. What they do? What is their usual practice? For example, you get up early morning, you take tea, this and that, and then you get ready for the school. But what they do? After getting early in the morning, they just pick their bag and go for rag picking. And rag picking means they will collect some scraps which they will sell to junk dealer. So these children are compared. The writer compares these children with morning birds. In morning, you must have seen around your house that there are birds. You can listen to the sound of birds chirping. So morning, the birds leave early morning to collect the food for their chicks. So similarly, the writer has compared them with army. Army means they are large in number. They might be 5, 6, 7, and they live together. Okay. Another thing, they are barefoot. They don't have the slippers and shoes. And the comparison is there that like morning birds leave the nest to collect the food for their chicks, and after collecting the food, after taking something, after eating something, they go to their nest back during the noon time when it is too hot. So similarly, the author, this Sahib Alam and his friends are doing this all. This is their usual practice. Early morning, they pick up their bags, plastic bags, collect garbage, and then go back to their homes. And their homes are nothing but slum huts, hutments. Okay, these temporary shelters. Now the next point, that Sahib had chappals at home. Okay, he has slippers at home. According to writer, according to Sahib's friend, he has slipper at home, but he is naked foot. He is not putting on that. He does not put the slippers, although he has slippers at home and his mother has kept that in Almira, but he is not putting on that. Another child in ill-fit shoes. Another child is there, another boy is there. He is in ill-fit shoes. Ill-fit shoes mean the shoes which are not fit according to his size. What does it mean? It means that he got it from somebody. He did not buy the shoe. He got it from somebody, some person, some boy in good condition might have given it to him or thrown away. So he is in ill-fit shoe. Another friend, and remaining naked feet. It means many of them are naked feet. So this is a tradition. Now they keep themselves naked feet. They do not put on slippers. Okay. This is deliberate. Now here, two things are there. One is the lack of money and another is the tradition. And one point is there that may be display of poverty. Now, this point we are going to discuss, that we already know Sahib has slipper at home, but he is not putting on. One thing may be possible that he wants shoe. Okay, he does not want to be in slipper. Number one. Number thing, you can also say that shoe is easy because you need not maintain its balance every time. You can run and this and that. But one thing is here that they are naked foot, they are having no slippers and shoes because they have no money. Their parents cannot buy. One thing. And one another thing the writer is talking about, that to remain naked foot is a type of tradition. It is a type of belief. It is a type of practice. Now let me take you back to the villages. If you go to rural areas, villages, even today, even now, you will find that many people have shoes, have slippers, but they move naked feet here and there. The reason is that they have a type of practice, they have a type of tradition. And some people want to show their poverty also, that we are poor people, we don't have all this thing. So this is a mixed thing here, that remaining naked foot is a part of tradition, remaining naked foot is part of poverty, remaining naked foot is part of show that we are poor people. So this all is there. And Sahib and his friends, they are normally naked foot. But I have already told you that one boy has shoes. And these shoes are not purchased by him. These are ill-fit shoes. But somebody must have given, some rich family boy or some other person might have given out of these shoes. Now author remembers old narration. Now there is a old narration, and author is now a grown-up person. Some friend of authors, he told him that there was a temple in Udupi, South India somewhere, and his friend from Udupi is a place. So he says that when he used, that author friends told him कि when he was a school going boy, he was son of a priest. Actually, author's friend, Anish Jung's friend, narrates him this story. ये उसको story narrate करता है कि when he was a young boy, he was son of a priest. It means his father was priest in a temple. And every time, whenever he passed through that temple, because his father used to go to temple and he used to go to school near the temple. So he used to pray the God that, oh God, give me a pair of shoes. Okay. He prayed goddess for a pair of shoes. And now that friend of author, Anish Jung's friend, when he visited after some time to the same area, same temple, what is there? The temple priest is there, not his father, another temple priest is there, and the son of temple priest has socks, has shoes, has bag on his back, and a smart uniform. So it means that time had changed. The temple priest of olden time, he was in poor condition, his son was in poor condition, he was not having any shoes, any dress, any school bag. But the son of modern temple priest, he has got all these things. He has got shoes and socks and belt and all parts of uniform. Now the writer is making a comparison, but these children in Simapuri, they are still barefoot. It means they have not got development. There is development in Udupi. There is development in that particular, town. There is development with that priest family, new priest family, old priest family. But there is no development with these people who are living in Simapuri, the children who are living in Simapuri. Now he has used one expression for Simapuri. Simapuri on Delhi periphery. There is a word periphery. Periphery. Periphery means outskirt, boundary. Why it is boundary? Because it is after that UP starts. Simapuri is just on the boundary of Delhi and UP. It is part of Delhi, but it is very close to UP boundary. Okay. So it is on boundary of Delhi. It is inside of Delhi, but it is on boundary of Delhi. Still, it is miles away from it. Miles away from it. Sometimes question is framed on this. Miles away from it. So why does the author use this particular phrase, miles away from it? She's using this because development is not there. There is the gap of development. There is gap of progress. Delhi is national capital. There are rich people. There is a parliament house. There are different type of very great and grand buildings. People are enjoying there, but these people are not having any basic needs. They are suffering. That's why the writer has used this phrase miles away from it. It means Delhi. Miles away from Delhi. Simapuri is not miles away from Delhi. It is part of Delhi. But still, the writer is using miles away from Delhi because it has not come under the development. We are talking about olden times, not today. Today, Simapuri is developed place. You go there, you visit there. We also visit there. So Simapuri has got all the facilities now. But as far as these migrants are there, still people say I don't have the data. But people say that there are still these migrant family are still living there. They do not have any identity proofs, but they have got ration card. They are living there. They are part of this thing. That's why when this National Register of Citizen (NRC), so that NRC was debated. Some people, some politicians were saying that that is not good. According to that NRC, what the NRC was going to do, NRC was going to decide that how many people are there who are illegally living in our country. And this is one of the area, Simapuri and Northeast Delhi, where there are many people who have come from Bangladesh, who have come from Pakistan, and they are living there. Although they are part of our country now, they have got many facilities, they are doing job, they are doing work, but still their basic roots are from these countries. And now the government will decide that the government will work on them, and they might be given citizenship, they will be given, they are getting all facilities. They are just casting their vote, and they are getting all facilities. These migrants visited to India in 1971. 1971, there was actually in Bangladesh, there was a war also, but that time there was a flood also. And around 10,000 rag pickers, 10,000 rag pickers came, and they are living in mud structures. Mud structures, the house is made of mud, soil, and they have the tin roof, tarpaulin roof. Okay, plastic seats are there. There is no sewer facilities were there, no drainage was there. They have ration cards, but they do not have any identity document. What is identity document? Your identity document is your Aadhaar card, your identity document is your bank passbook, your identity document is your that caste certificate, your birth certificate. All they do not have the identity proof because they have come from another country, but they have been given ration card through which they are getting ration means that cereals and material to eat. So they are surviving here. The word is surviving here. They are living here. They are just passing their time, but they are not enjoying the development of the life and development of city. They don't want to go back to Bangladesh. One important thing is there that these people do not want to go back to their country, and this is very critical issue. That's why NRC people are opposing NRC, these people, because they do not want to go back to their country, their native country. The reason is that they feel more safe here. They feel India can be better for them. They feel they can do better here. They feel their children will do better here. That's why they do not want to go back to their country, because their land is gone. Their country now they do not have anything in their own country. And in this case, Bangladesh was having a massive flood, and that time their houses and fields, everything got washed, and nothing is left. Their property is lost, their fields are lost, their crop is lost. So they do not want to go back. Now there is at the last of this slide, there is garbage to them is gold. It is their daily bread. Now when they are doing rag picking here, these people of Simapuri, when they are doing rag picking, what they are doing, they are having this as a profession. This is a profession. Now garbage dumping, you know that our school is garbage free school. Garbage free means we do not create any plastic and we do not create any type of garbage. So garbage, but garbage is gold for them. Why garbage is gold for them? Because this is giving them their survival. When they collect plastic material, metal material, some other resellable things, then they collect that and then they sell that at the garbage houses, garbage dealers houses, and they are getting. It means this is the method of their survival that is giving them their job, their bread and butter. Reason, because they earn money from that. So that's why garbage to them is gold. It means that they are getting their survival because of this garbage from where they collect the material which they can sell in the market. Some sound problem is there. Some people are connecting. Keep your sound in muted mode. Am I audible? Am I
Yes, sir.
audible? Yes. So we go to next slide. It seems that for children, garbage has a meaning different from what it means to their parents. Now there are children as well as elderly people. Don't think that elderly people are not collecting. Elderly people are also doing same thing. They might be doing some housework and some labor work, etc. But the meaning of the garbage for children and for elderly people is different here. Why? For children, it is wrapped in wonder. It means something very precious, something very good, which is coming out of wonder. And for elderly people, it is a method of survival. Why it is a method of survival for elderly people? Because they will sell this scrap and then they will get money. They will buy food items. But for children, it is something wonder because sometimes they get money out of this garbage. Children sometimes find coin or a currency note in the garbage because in garbage everything goes from houses. So sometimes it is possible, not every time, sometimes these children find currency note or currency coin in garbage, and that's why that becomes attractive for them. The reason is that they keep on searching. Okay, let what today I am getting. Sometimes they are getting a toy, sometimes they are getting a coin, sometimes they are getting something very good. So you know that when we go to garbage house, we will get many things which can be reused because affluent people, rich people, they throw the things away. And these children sometimes get that type of thing which they can use. That is either a pen, or that is either a toy, or that is either something to play with. But in this context, the writer is talking about the coin and currency note. Okay, so they keep that thing and they feel very happy when they get this. So they are excited early morning that okay, today I'm leaving. What I'll get today? Let me find out. So they are not only looking for the plastic and for the metals, they are looking for this coin, for the currency also, for something precious which they find in the garbage. Now, next point, Sahib watches young men playing tennis. One day, what happened? The writer is continue with Sahib. It is not one day, it is the next day and next day after next day. So one day, she saw that Sahib was watching young people playing tennis. They were playing tennis, not in Simapuri, maybe some neighboring area, adjoining area. So they were playing tennis there. Okay. And Sahib got very much excited. He wanted to play. He wanted to go near. He wanted to know about this game. When they were young boys, young men were playing tennis. So he has another. Now this is the another attraction Sahib has. One attraction, he wanted to go to school. Another attraction, he also wants to play. He also wants to play like these young boys and young men. Now, but he cannot because he has no facility. He cannot play. He has no racket. He has no ball. He has no club membership. So he goes to that park when there is nobody. When these people are not playing, he goes there and he just takes the permission of that guard, the park guard and park security guard, and he just goes there, and then he feels something very good. It means that again there is a fire. The fire and desire which I discussed with you, that fire or desire is still there. He wants to play. He wants to become like the young boys. He wants to play in complete uniform, sports uniform, etc. And one day, then after some time, he got a discarded tennis shoes. Somebody must have given him discarded tennis shoes. These white shoes you put on. We call them PT shoes. So he got some PT shoes, and that day he was just putting on these things. He was in white shoes that day. So he had a special desire. Now, white shoes, then he must be thinking that if somebody gives him the white uniform also, shorts and t-shirt and racket. So he has a desire to play tennis like the young boys. It means that the dreams of this boy, the imagination of this boy, the wish, the desire of this boy is there, but he is not getting because his parents are poor. He cannot afford this. He has no money. His parents have no money. So now here is a quote: for one who has walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole is a dream come true, but the game he is watching so intently is out of his reach. This is the direct quote which I have taken from the text. What does it mean? It means that the shoes which he has got, that is not the new pair of shoes. He has not bought that from the market. No, that is given to him by somebody. Somebody must have given that, and that shoes definitely must have some one hole or two holes somewhere, because rich people and we people also, we only give the item, we only leave the item when that is not usable for us. You know that last time we just had a wall in front of a school, that sustainability wall, and many of our teachers, many of us, even myself, we put on some clothes there, and these clothes were used by the people who were in need. Okay, and what happened there, that we told all people that everybody is free to keep the things there, but these things should be usable, properly usable. It means those items should be in nice condition. Suppose I am putting on a t-shirt today, I if I want to just give this t-shirt away, then that should be wearable. It is not possible that now if it is torn and then I put it there. No. Suppose we are giving something to somebody, that should be usable. What happened after some time? After some time, the local people of that area, they started dumping their unusable things there. Okay, they started putting all the garbage there, all the thing. For example, the broken shoes there, and the torn uniform, torn jeans, and torn top. So that became a problem for us. Then we had to close that, because we wanted to help people by getting something which can be used. So here in this context, the writer is saying that he got a pair of shoes from somebody, although that was not new, but somebody must have discarded. Discarded means when suppose either the size is not fit for. Sometime we also, I have given also my children's uniform and dresses to needy people, because either the size was not there, or the children had another a pair. So this is possible. Sahib is also getting one shoes, and that day he has the tennis shoes, but he has no tennis racket. He cannot go there, he cannot play there, because this is a very costly game. How it is possible for Sahib? He has got the shoes from somebody, but he cannot get the racket, he cannot get that ball, he cannot get the membership. Now scene is changed. One morning, this is another day morning, this next day, so after some days, writer met Sahib again. Okay, and that day Sahib was not having the rag picking bag. Rag picking bag, let me take you back to the rag picking. These rag pickers have a big bag, big plastic bag. Okay, and that can contain lot of things, but that is very light, because that is made of plastic. So that day Sahib had no rag picking bag, no plastic bag. What he had? Sahib was at a milk booth with a steel canister. Milk booth, for example, you have seen DMS booth, you have seen Mother Dairy booth. So he was at a milk booth, and he had a steel canister, a steel pot on his shoulder. Okay. Now what is there? He is doing some different work. Now he works at a tea stall for rupees 800 and meals. Now Sahib is not doing the work of rag picking. What he is doing? He is working in a tea stall. And from that tea stall, what he is getting? He is getting 800 rupees. And he gets meals. Meals means food. Okay. But one thing is there. After dash, you can say, Sahib is not happy. Why Sahib is not happy? The reason. Okay. Sahib is not happy. Canister heavier than plastic bag. The weight of canister, milk pot, it is heavier than plastic bag. But because it is not because of heavy and light, there is some different thing. Bag belong to Sahib. Bag belong to him. Bag means that plastic bag. That belong to Sahib, but canister does not belong to him. Canister is of his master. Master, the tea shop owner. Okay. And at the last I have written that Sahib is no longer his master. Now let us discuss this point. When Sahib started working in a tea shop, Then Sahib got a job. He is getting 800 rupees, and that time 800 was a good amount also. He is getting 800 rupees, and he is getting meal also, food also, but still Sahib is not happy. The question is why he is not happy. The question is why he is not enjoying this. And I have written two questions there. Ki what does he lose and what does he gain? He is not happy there. Now this question comes again and again in your text, that why Sahib is not happy, although he has got a job, although he is now getting food also. Anybody?
Sir, now he has foundations on him.
Very good. He has foundation. What type of foundation he has, Deepika? What do you mean to say by foundation? Why you think that
Sir,
he is bound now?
sir, because he have fixed work hours and fixed work what his boss say to work. So he have to.
Very good. Now she has given very good answer that now he has a schedule. If he has to report at 6 a.m. in the morning, he has to report at 6. And if he has to leave that tea stall at 5 p.m., then he has to leave.
अरे सर का माइक कैसे ऑफ हो गया?
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
My God, off. Okay. Sometime it gets off. No problem. Now I am audible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the question is that, as Deepika said, that he has lost his freedom. He has lost his careless nature. Now imagine that in the morning he is going with his friends and happy, crying, shouting, but now he is not doing all that. Okay, it is not the question of work. It is not the amount of labor he is putting on. It is the freedom. It is the thing that he is not enjoying that liberty. Now he is no longer his own master. No longer his own master means he is not free, independent. So what does he gain here? That is another question. The first question, what he lost his freedom. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible? Yes. He lost his freedom. And now one question more is there, ki what does he gain? Now this question is not given in the text. और शायद पूछा भी नहीं जाएगा आपको, लेकिन मैं पूछ रहा हूं, what does he gain? Suppose he lost his freedom, he lost his independence, he lost his liberty, he lost his carefree nature, he lost his fun, he lost his joy. But what does he gain here? अब यहां क्या उसको मिला?
Sir, he gain a fixed salary.
Oh, he gained fixed salary. Very good. Any other? Salary तो मिल ही रही है. Okay. Any other?
Sir, now he gained the courage.
Very good. Very good. This I wanted. Now he has got the courage. उसको अब लग रहा है he can decide कि what is good for me, what is not good for me. He has got the value of independence. Now he has got the lesson of liberty. Now he has come to know that one day he should also become a master like the tea shop owner. Now he has come to know that he should work as entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, we are doing entrepreneurs mindset curriculum, EMC. So what is
Yes,
this
sir.
EMC? This idea which Sahib got at this tea shop, this is the idea. It means that the seed of entrepreneurship is sown in the mind of Sahib here. Because when he sees that the master is sitting and enjoying, he is doing the work, master is getting lot of money, tea shop owner is getting lot of money, he is working under him, he is not enjoying. So now he has got that courage to think different, that he should do something different, and he should also go for some new thing. He should not remain dependent on anybody. He should start his own work. So he gets a type of mindset, and that mindset gives Sahib a new thinking, a new logic. Definitely, he was enjoying that rag picking, but he cannot remain like rag picker every time. As I was telling you, ki garbage is not there now. Now cities are becoming garbage free cities. That Swachh Bharat, that smart cities. So cities are becoming garbage free. Where the garbage will be there? If there is no garbage, if there is no garbage, then rag pickers will not be there. For example, these days it is lockdown. You may not be watching rag pickers here and there. Rag pickers are not there because there is no rag at all. So it means that we cannot remain fixed with our own work. We have to change. Change is very important part of life. We have to go for that change. Next, we come to next slide. Now there is another boy. It is 9:34 and our class is up to 10:30. Yes.
Sir, till 10 a.m.
Okay, till 10 a.m. Okay. So we will and after that you have one more period
Yes, sir, political science.
at
Yes,
10:30.
yes.
Okay, so we will conclude before 10:15. 10:15 we will because we will conclude this chapter tomorrow. Now we are going to know about a different boy. Sahib is now another boy. We have got a new boy, and he's Mukesh. Okay, let us have a quick recap on Sahib. Sahib, a rag picker in Semapuri. He is collecting rags. He was happy with his rag picking. He wanted to go to school, but he did not. He could not because there was no school. Then he just shifted from rag picking to working at a tea shop, and he was doing the work there. He was getting a salary. He was getting bills, but still he was not happy. He was not happy because he had lost his freedom, his liberty, his carefree nature, and he was working under somebody's that tight supervision. He did not like that. He wanted to do something at his own. Now we have got a Mukesh, another boy here. Mukesh wants to drive a car. This is the title given to the chapter's part. He wants to drive a car. I will learn to drive a car. Mukesh looks straight into author's eyes. Now, same author, Anish Jung. Anish Jung is there and she is talking to another boy. This boy is in different city. It is Firozabad in UP. And Firozabad is known for bangle making. Firozabad is a world famous place for bangle making. Okay, so this is the background is of Firozabad. Mukesh is a boy of bangle makers family in Firozabad. When she asks Mukesh, then what you want to do, he looks into the eyes of author and says, I want to become a motor mechanic. I want to drive a car. Now, can you tell me the difference between Mukesh and Sahib? What is the difference between Mukesh and Sahib here? Although Mukesh may be, yeah, elder than this, elder to this Sahib, but what is the basic, feature difference we can see here?
Sir, Mukesh has a courage to dream big in spite of all the adversity.
Okay, good.
Whereas the
Mukesh,
other,
hmm,
whereas the other bangle makers of Firozabad have resigned to their fate.
ओके चलो ये तो आपने लेसन पढ़ लिया मैं तो ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि व्हाट इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस यू से मुकेश हैज मोर करेज ओके एंड हाउ वी कैन नो दैट ही हैज करेज एनीबॉडी look at this Mukesh looks straight into author's eyes. When you look into somebody's eyes, that is itself a type of courage. That's why we tell you कि when you are delivering a speech, when you are reciting a poem, when you are doing acting, just face the audience, look at the audience, look into their eyes, look into the eyes of your teacher when you are talking to the teacher. This is courage itself. This is courage. Why it is courage? Because you have accepted that person's query, that person's question. And Mukesh says, I will drive a car. I want to become a motor mechanic. Now, Firozabad in UP, it is center of India's glass blowing industry. Let me tell you, glass blowing. Glass is actually blown. How it is blown? It is heated first, and then it is blown like balloon, very thin layer. And then these, the blowing glass, the heated glass is converted into bangles, into different things. Whatever the things you get of glass, these are actually uh, when we get the glass from factory, then these are the seeds. These are volumes of seeds. But these things are given a shape after heating them, after blowing them, after putting them in shape. And this Firozabad in UP, this is famous for bangle making. Every family engaged in bangle making, and every family has the profession of bangle making. That is, that a family of bangle makers only. And these people are making bangles for many years. That is their profession. That is their tradition. If we say that that is their tradition, then that is not wrong. That is their profession, family profession, you can say tradition. What they are doing, they are working in hot furnaces. Furnaces means fireplaces. Very near. Why fireplaces? Because the glass is melted there. They are living in dingy cells. Dingy means full of smell, bad smelling. Cells, very small room, small huts, small houses. High temperature is there. Why high temperature is there? Because there is no ventilation. There are no fire, no fans, no ACs, and there is no high roof also. And they are welding glass, welding bangles. Welding means joining, WELDING. There is another word for welding, that is soldering. When metal is joined, that is also called soldering. So they are also soldering the bangles. When the bangles are heated, when that is given a shape, after that, that is made a type of ring. So how the ring will be there? If you see bangles, everybody, you must have bangles at your home. Your mothers and sisters must be having. Even some girls must be having in on their wrist this time also. So bangle has a fixed point where it is welded, where it is soldered, and that is done manually. That is done manually. कोई machine नहीं कर रही है. Now there might be some machine. Okay, but earlier that used to be done manually. Some soldering, some fixing, giving that welding that. So these people are doing all this work, but the condition of these people is very bad. Why the condition is bad? They have been doing this work for long time. Their economic condition is same. They are working in very unhygienic condition. Why I am saying unhygienic condition? Because they are living very near to heated furnace. They are living in that unventilated rooms. There is the temperature, high temperature, all this. And now he is saying that there are 20,000 children like Mukesh who are engaged in that bangle making. Oh, one thing I have I missed one thing that I'll discuss, and uh, I'll go back because otherwise that should not be left. This question: have you heard of BBA? Have you heard of BBA? This can anybody expand this abbreviation BBA?
The
Okay,
full form of BBA is
uh, full form.
Bachelor of Business Administration.
Oh, very good. Bachelor of Business Administration. I also wanted to, you will give this answer. And I have written the clue here, Nitish. Ki BBA is not business study course here. BBA is Bachelor of Business Administration, but it is not this course here which we are talking. It refers to a popular expedition. It refers to a popular expedition. Expedition means Andolan. It refers to a very popular Andolan. And let me give you another clue that the person who led that expedition, he won Nobel Prize. Any idea? Okay, I'll give you another clue. That person won Nobel Prize and he works for children. Oh, your GK is also not very sound. He works for children. Children's right. Let me more clear. He
Sir,
works for children's right. Yes.
sir, sir,
Anyone?
sir, I have confusion.
Hmm.
Sir, Satyarthi ji.
Very good. You are right. You have no confusion. You are very clear. He is
Sir,
Kailash
Kailash
Satyarthi.
Satyarthi or Malala Yousafzai.
Yes, Kailash Satyarthi. And Kailash Satyarthi, Bachpan Bachao Andolan. This BB is Bachpan Bachao Andolan. This Bachpan Bachao Andolan, Kailash Satyarthi started in 1971 or like that, long back. And that was only to save the life of children and the children who were doing work, manual work. It means the children who were working as laborers. These children, see, 20,000 children like Mukesh unlawfully engaged. Why I have written unlawfully? Because according to the law, according to factory law, company law, children below 18 years of age cannot be engaged in any work. But here in Firozabad, every family has children and all children are engaged in bangle making. Is it child labor or not?
Yes, sir.
This is child labor. This is child labor. Although family is engaging them. Even that Sahib Alam, he is child labor. Mukesh is also child labor because they are working to earn some money. Although they are forced by their parents, although they are forced by the poverty has forced them. Their parents want them to work, but this is unlawful work. So Kailash Satyarthi started a very great initiative, and that was Bachpan Bachao Andolan, and he has liberated lakhs of children, not only from our country. Kailash Satyarthi, he lives in Delhi. And once there was a talk show on India TV, and six students of our school went and they had a panel discussion with him. They had a chat with him. And last year's topper, that Aarti Gupta, she just had a question for Kailash Satyarthi also. And her question was very intelligent question. She asked him that do we want Malala Yousafzai in India too? Malala Yousafzai is Pakistani girl who won Nobel Prize with Kailash Satyarthi, Nobel Peace Prize, and that was shared with Kailash Satyarthi. So that Aarti Gupta asked him this question: is there any need of Malala Yousafzai in India also? It means that do we have a problem in India that girls are not getting their share and the facility, etc., the education especially in Pakistan, girls' education is at a back foot, not very good as in our country. So the question was like that. So okay, that was the reference. So there are 20,000, children who are working that time. I'm not talking. This data is not of this time. Don't think that there are 20,000 children today. You'll ask that we have been taught in the lesson that there are 20,000. It is about that 1970, 71 or 72, whatever there when the lesson was written. Mukesh led author to his home. Mukesh took the author to his home, and his home is stinking lanes. Stinking lanes means bad smell of that sewer water and sewage, etc. And choked with garbage. Lanes, streets are choked with, full of garbage here and there, all around, garbage filled. So this is the condition of the place where Mukesh is living. Now there is a word hovels. Hovels means small houses, small cottages. We cannot call them house, cottage, where there is the roof, temporary roof. The walls are crumbling. The walls of these houses are crumbling. Crumbling means there are chinks, there are gaps in between, and wobbly doors are there. Wobbly, I have written in the bracket that unsteady. Even the doors of these small hutments, they are not fixed. They are just either going left or right. It means that the condition is very bad. No windows, And these hutments, these small cottages, there is no window. Window is very important for ventilation, air ventilation. That is, there is no window. And another thing, humans and animals living at the same place. Animals are also living. Humans are also living. It means that there is no separate place for animals. They must have the animals, buffaloes and cows and oxens. So they are also sharing the same place. And that is, there is a word written that primeval. Primeval means very old, earliest. In olden days, in long, long back, that when the development was not there, so animals and humans used to live in the same area, and that was unhygienic also. So these people were also living in that type of condition. Now the next point, firewood stove. Stove is not of gas, not LPG, not PNG. Firewood stove. And near the firewood, there is a young woman, and that woman is Mokesh's sister-in-law. What she is doing? She is preparing meal for the family member. Okay, and another thing, she wears veil on appearance of elder male. When Mukesh's father came there, then she got her face veiled. Veil. This is covering of the face. Covering of the face means still in rural areas, this veil tradition is still there. When the young woman is there and suppose an elderly male comes, then what the woman will do? Woman will cover her face with that veil. Either that is the part of sari or that is the part of her dupatta, etc. So she will do. It's still not in villages. Even in cities, I have seen some people who are traditional people who still believe in this. They think that this is their practice. So on appearance of a male elderly male member, they cover their face with veil, and this is the part of a tradition, this is the part of a practice they are following. So here is the scene of Mukesh's sister-in-law, Mukesh and his elder brother and his father and his sister-in-law. So these 4 5 people are there, and she covers her face. It means this is also a part of the system, the tradition. And what she is doing, she is preparing meal. And where she is preparing meal? In that very compact cell, compact house, and on firewood stove. It means lot of smoke, lot of heat, lot of unhygienic gases are there. Nowadays, Prime Minister Modi has given LPG subsidy to rural women. All rural women are getting LPG connection free of cost. The purpose is that to save their eyes. When rural women prepare food on firewood stove, what will happen? The gas, the smoke from these firewood stove harms the eyes, and they lose the eyesight. So the governments, that is called Ujjwala Yojana. The name of that scheme is Ujjwala Yojana, and Ujjwala Yojana is giving rural women that LPG subsidy only to save them and their eyes, because firewood stove is not good for their health. This is not good for environment. This is not good for nature. Now Mukesh's father is also there, and he was earlier he was a tailor, but now after that he started bangle making. He started as a tailor, but because the family profession was bangle making, so he shifted to bangle making, and he couldn't send his sons to schools but taught them bangle making. Now see this point, he could not send his sons to school. Mukesh and his elder brother, they did not go to school. It means they are still not educated. They did not get education, which you are getting. They did not get education because his condition was not good. There might not be school around, and he did not send them to school. But he taught them bangle making. Why he taught them bangle making? Because it is the family profession. It is the work. It is the tradition. Without this, the family cannot survive. They will get money only when they make bangle, when they sell that in the market. So that is their family profession. That is the survival for them. Bangle making is survival for them. But one thing is very serious, that Mukesh and his elder brother, they were not sent to school. They did not study anything. Now there is Mukesh's grandmother also. Mukesh's grandmother, and what she says, I have given that in quote, directly quote when there are two inverted commas, that is the direct quote taken from the text. It is his karam his destiny. Can a God-given lineage ever be broken? Now, what she says that if Mukesh is not going to school, if Mukesh is making bangle, and family is in poverty, this is because of the karam, destiny, bhagya, kismat. So she says this is nothing. This is kismat, bhagya. Yeah, this is the part of our life. It means she becomes so much, traditional, so much superstitious that she says it is nobody's mistake. Nobody has done any wrong. This is the destiny. This is the karam. This is the fate of we people that we have to make Bengal. We have to live in this condition. We have to die here. We have to remain in poverty. This is because of that. Can a God-given lineage ever be broken? This is a very, very serious question. God-given lineage. Lineage means a family tradition, a family practice, a family profession. She says this profession is given to us by our fathers, forefathers, people. So they started this work, and this work cannot be stopped. It means it should continue, and it is still continuing. Now, Mukesh is having a courage. Mukesh wants to change this. He does not want to go forward with bangle making. And if Mukesh or any other young person, Mukesh is example just, if any other young boy or young girl does not want to change this, then what will happen? For more years, for more 100 years, they will remain in the same condition. Their condition will remain similar. They will be poor, they will be suffering, they will be losing their eyesight, they will be doing all these things. Now, whatever is happening, actually, they are suffering not only economically, they are suffering mentally, they are suffering physically. Many of them lose their eyesight very early in life, around 20, 25, 30. They lose their eyesight. They get the skin problem. The reason is that they are working in very unhygienic condition. They are working in very difficult condition, and their economy is not improving because there are other regions which we will be talking in the next slide. Now, last point, that born in caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles. These people have seen nothing, no development. They have seen only bangles. Bangles in houses, bangles in courtyard, bangles in other houses, in other courtyard, and every street of Firozabad is full of bangles. There are only bangles. Even if you go today, you will find bangles because it is famous for bangle making. And these people are doing this. There is the they are following this profession. Now there might be condition maybe better than that time, but because that place is making bangles, so there are full of bangles, and bangles are there in all houses. So they say that we have seen nothing. We have seen only bangles, and these bangles they are making because that is their family profession. But one thing you have to keep it in mind, that this is not improving their health, not improving their economic condition. Now bangles, see, now we are talking something very good about bangles. Sunny gold bangles, paddy green bangles, royal blue bangles, pink bangles, purple bangles, all colors, all 7 colors of rainbow. Every color born out of 7 colors of it means all lovely bangles are really very looking very lovely. If you go to some bangle shop, when you go to a very AC shop, and that salesman, and he shows you bangles in the that packet, that box. He takes out the boxes and shows you the bangles, different color bangles. These really look very attractive. Somebody's sound is there. Please put off the sound. So when we look at the bangles, then these are really very attractive. Why? Because these are colorful, these are shiny, and these sound better. And when women and girls put on their wrists, then they also look very beautiful. But here in Firozabad, that is, not like that. That is something very different. Bengals are everywhere. Bengals lie in mound in unkempt yard. Mound means heap. When they are making bangles, they just put that on the ground, on the mounds, and these are on unkempt. Unkempt means unclean. They are putting them. After that, these these are taken to that dealer, and then the dealer sends to the packaging shops, and after packaging shops, these are packaged, these are cleaned, all these things. It means that that takes the process. But the original place where the bangles are made, these people are actually suffering. Why they are suffering? They have dark apartments. Dark apartments, I have already talked to you. They have the houses which are very poorly lit, very poorly ventilated, and they are living in temporary houses. Flames of flickering oil lamps, they don't have the light there. They have the oil lamps flickering. This flickering word, we can take it back to third level. When Charlie went to third level, then there were flickering lights. So flickering means which are not very constant, which are not very fixed, which are not very bright. So oil lamps are there, and the light in oil lamps is not very good. It is not very good for doing something serious like study and like doing other activities. Boys and girls sit with their parents. They sit on ground with their parents, welding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. And the main work they are doing, they are welding. They are just fixing these bangles. They are just soldering these bangles. Eyes more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside. Now see this point. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark. Why? Because they are working in dark and dark and dark only. They are working in very dim light. That's why sometimes your parents might be telling you, okay, study in proper light, study in sufficient light. The reason is that when we study in less dim light, that gives a problem to our eyes. Our eyes becomes that accustomed to that insufficient light, and gradually the force is there on our eyes, and we start losing our eyesight. So now their eyesight is loose. Okay, they are losing their eyesight, often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. In many cases, these young boys and young girls, before they become adults, before they get married, before they become sensible, they lose their eyesight because of these unhygienic condition. And unhygienic condition, we have already told you that these are the ill ventilated houses, that poor lighting, heat, and gases, and different type of smoke, all these type of things. And even not proper meal also, they are not getting proper meal, nutrition, vitamins, fruits. So they are suffering all of these things. Not only the physical condition, morally they are also not very happy. They are not getting any entertainment, they are not getting any facilities. So all types of problems are there. There is one girl, Savita. It is already 10:01, and after one slide, we will be concluding today. Tomorrow we'll take. Savita is one young girl there. This is like Mukesh, one young girl. And the young girl, she is soldering bangles. She is fixing bangles, attaching bangles, making that circle. May or may not be knowing auspiciousness. Women's suhag. Suhag is a Hindi word. That's why I have italicized it. That she is making bangle. Writer is confused whether Sabita knows something about the bangle, that what is the auspicious value of bangle. And why I am saying auspicious, bangles are very auspicious for women, because when they get married, they put on bangles, and this is a symbol of their marital life, their successful marital life. So the author is just having a question to herself, that may be possible that Savita does not know anything about Suhag, anything about the importance of bangles for the ladies, for the women. Okay, because women love bangles, and they decorate their wrists with bangles, and that gives the one indication that they are very happy and their married life is very happy. So Savita may not be knowing all this thing. Now there is one old woman also. One is the young woman, Sabita. She is making bangles, but there is another old woman in the same house, and the old woman has bangles on her wrist. She has a few bangles, two, three, four bangles, but she has no light in eyes. It means she cannot see properly. Her eyesight is gone. Bangles on wrist, but eyesight is not there. Again, why eyesight is not there? Because of these all conditions which we have already discussed. Not enjoyed full meal in a lifetime. This old woman could not get a complete full meal means complete food any day in her life. So this is the condition, economic condition. Her husband, bearded old man, made bangles, and just he also managed a house to live in. Her husband is also there. He has long beard. He is also very weak, very tired. And what he has done, he says that I have done only two things. One, I have made bangles, and another, I managed to make a house. That house also not very good house, a temporary house. Okay, so that is only his gain. That is only his profit. That is only his progress. That he just carried on. He just looked after his family. His family got something to eat, but again, not complete diet, not full diet, not complete food, not fruits, not entertainment. So only survival is there. So the question is there. Now I ask you a question that why should we do the work? Suppose for centuries, for 100 and 200 years, suppose our grandfather started some business, some work, and we are doing the same. The condition of grandfather was same. The condition of we people is same. Then why should we continue that work? Why should we not stop that work? Why should not we change something? Why should not we use the technology? This is the question. Why should we continue with that? But there are many regions, not only one region, there are many regions. The regions would be coming in the coming slide. Others have not been able to manage roof overhead. Some people are there who could not even manage a house. They do not have the house. They are living in temporary houses like that huts and huts made of that grass and wood. So they could not manage the house and mind numbing toil for years, but not sufficient to eat. This word mind numbing means which closes our mind, which just makes our mind inactive. They have done so much toil. Toil means hard work. They have been doing very much hard work for long time, but still they are not getting sufficient to eat and sufficient to live well. They cannot live well, they cannot eat well. So what is the use of their hard work? The question is, what is the use of their hard work if they are not doing all this thing? No cooperative. Now there is one thing. Now the region, we are coming to region. No cooperative. There are no cooperative. Cooperative means societies, groups. Bangle Makers Association. There is no association of bangle makers. They do not have any cooperative. Cooperative actually, cooperatives are, a type of society, a type of association which we make, and that association takes care. That association takes the decision, and if any member is having any problem, then that association, that group comes to his or her help. So there is no type of association like this, and there is a vicious circle of middlemen, and these middlemen trap their fathers and forefathers, and police is there, and cooperative they are not cooperative. Now let us discuss this point in very detail, because this is the main point which we need to discuss. They do not have any cooperative, one thing, and there is a vicious circle. Vicious circle you must know, because this is asked every time, and you must know this for your whole life. Vicious circle is circle which is unending circle. This is a circle of some difficulty which does not come to an end, which does not stop. It continuously goes on and goes and goes on. Okay. For example, I give you one beautiful example. Suppose you do not understand a mathematical calculation, and the mathematical you do not understand, and you ask your teacher, and the teacher scolds you, and you get afraid, and again you do not focus on that calculation, and again you make a mistake. So that mistake will carry on, that mistake will go on. So there is a vicious circle, and this circle does not allow these people come out of this circle. It means they are living in this circle continuously, and they have the problem. Now who have made this vicious circle? This you can call it a ring, you can call it a chain. So they are not able to come out of this chain. Who have made this chain? This chain is middlemen. There are middlemen, we call them agents. There are police people, there are bureaucrats, there are some officers also. They have made a type of chain, and they have trapped these, bangle makers. He is saying fathers and forefathers. It means all people were exploited by this vicious circle, and the vicious circle is not one person. There are two three type of person. There are the middleman, agent. What is the work of agent? Let me tell you. They will buy the bangles at very cheap cost. For example, they buy 1 dozen bangles for rupees 2, and then they sell that 1 dozen bangles for 200 rupees in the market. So they are only giving 2 rupees to the bangle maker, and they are earning 198 rupees out of that. So this is the work of middleman, agent. And still there are agent. Don't think that there are no agent. Still there are agent. For example, lockdown is this time going on. And yesterday I was talking a teacher, and he was telling me, because his that one some family members, they are near Hapur, and they were saying that nowadays these vegetables are not reaching to different that mandis. They are not able to go to one place to another, so they are only selling at the mandi which is close to their that village and close to their farmland. And at that mandi which is close to their farmland, they are, whatever the price they are getting, they are paying that. It means they are paying very less price. They do not have the bargain facility. They cannot say, no, I am not selling my vegetable at this rate. So they are getting very less money. And you will imagine, you will surprise that suppose we are getting 20 rupees kg tomato these days, or 25 rupees kg tomato these days. These vegetable, these farmers, they are selling that at the rate of 2 rupees or 3 rupees. Now think, suppose that in Hapur, or in that Meerut, or in Aligarh, suppose the that farmer is selling at the rate of rupees 2 per kg, and we are buying at the rate of 20 per kg. So what is the difference? The difference of 18 rupees. So who is getting this 18 rupees? 18 rupees is going to the middleman. Maybe there, okay, some transport cost may be there, definitely. If we say not 18 rupees, but at least vegetables, that farmer is not getting the money which he should get. So this is the work of middlemen, and these middlemen are working, and they have the support of the police, they have the support of the local administration, and they are exploiting. In next slide, this should be clear, and then we will close this. Okay. These young and old, all people are suffering, and they are, a spiral of poverty. Poverty, apathy, and greed and justice. These four words I have written. This is a type of spiral. Spiral means something going up in a circular manner, going up. Just like smokes, you see that it makes rings and it goes up. So these things are working against them. Poverty, apathy means no interest. No interest. Both the, that administration has no interest. The local authority have no interest in them. They are not taking care of them. Greed is of the bureaucrats. Greed is of the middlemen. Middlemen want more and more that profit. What do you know? Bangles of Firozabad have gone to America and New York also. Bangles of Firozabad have gone to Chicago and Canada also. But these people are still in same condition, because the middlemen did not give them the cost, did not give them the benefit of that profit. So there, injustice on the part of the police. For example, they take some complaint to police. Police will not attend. Police will just ignore them. Suppose they say that the middleman is exploiting me, and these people are doing everything against this. Now, in the second sentence, in the second point, two words are there. Two words means different things. One is the word of poverty. Poverty, it is because of the caste and stigma. Stigma means that something, okay, you have to only make bangle, and you are only fit for bangle making. You cannot do anything. So poverty is there. And another is their vicious circle of Sahukar. This vicious circle, which I was telling in the previous slide, this is made of Sahukar. Sahukar are money lenders, those who give the money, and then they take heavy amount of what we call interest on that. So they are Sahukar. They are the middlemen. Middlemen means agent. They are the policemen. Policemen, local administration, those who are taking care of the law and order. Law keepers who are taking care of maybe advocate and judges, etc. Bureaucrats and politicians. These all people are not doing. Now one thing, keep it in mind, that all these people are for the help of bangle makers. But what they are doing, they are exploiting. They are not helping these people. They are, suppose there are policemen, there are bureaucrats in some area, rural area. The purpose of these people is to give facility to the people there, to help them, to save them, to educate them, to help them, to look after their health. But these people are doing just something different. They are not paying attention. Giving any their problems, all this thing. Now this is another point. He accept that baggage like father before. Now this is a baggage on child like Mukesh. What is the baggage? Baggage means something burden. Your bag is also a baggage, but that is not baggage. That is your bag. Baggage means some heavy load on your back. So this heavy load is this tradition of bangle making. These people who are responsible for this business circle, they have put a heavy burden on the back of every young man, every old man, every person. So even Mukesh is going to take this burden. Mukesh will also have this burden on his back. Mukesh will also carry the same burden, and one day Mukesh will also become old and he will also become tired. If Mukesh does not change, if Mukesh does not think something different. So it means that this is a tradition. This is some burden which is created by poverty and business circle, and that burden is put on every person, every young boy, every young girl of Firozabad, and they are suffering throughout their life. Now, what is the way out? Way out is there. I told you, we discussed that if poverty can be a problem, poverty can be something good also. Tradition can be a problem, tradition can be good also. There is a solution. Doing something else than bangle making requires daring. Daring means courage. As Nitish was saying, courage. They need courage. Daring is not part of their growing. It means till now they have not dared. They have not asked question. Why? How? Who are you? I am doing this thing. I want to do this thing. So they have not started daring. They have not started thinking something. This is called, we also call it thinking out of box. So they have not started thinking. For example, I am giving an example. You do class 12 next year, and your father wants you that okay, you go to higher education, you do that honors, and you don't want to higher study. You don't want to go to higher study. You say no, I want to do some professional course. I want to go for this thing, that thing. I want to prepare for competitive examination. So it means you have a question. You can challenge, you can take help of your teachers, you can take help of counselor. But in this case, in Mukesh's case and in the case of bangle makers, they were having no option. They only did whatever their fathers, whatever. Mukesh is thinking something different. Mukesh flashes daring. Mukesh, there is a look on Mukesh's face, and he looks something very different. Now there is the direct quote. I want to be a motor mechanic. He repeats. He will go to a garage and learn, but the garage is long way from home. I will walk. When the writer Anish Jung asks you that how you can become a motor mechanic, you cannot learn motor mechanic because it is away in the city. He says no problem. I'll go there. I'll walk on my foot. If I don't have cycle, if I don't have any vehicle, I'll go there. I'll learn motor mechanic. I'll learn this all technical things, and I will become. He insists. It means now look at this word. I will go. He insists. Insist means he is now decided. He has decided that he will not do bangle making. He will do something different. And do you also have? Do you also dream of flying plane? A writer asked him a question that do you want to fly plane? He suddenly silent. He became silent. No, says, staring at the ground. He looks at the ground. He says, no, I want to become better mechanic. Now, see, this is giving us another hint that Mukesh also knows that what he can do, what is possible for him. Becoming a pilot requires higher study. Becoming a pilot requires studying physics and chemistry. He cannot do that because, no, but as far as the motor mechanic is concerned, one can become motor mechanic after learning certain skills. And there are many motor mechanic, they are not highly educated. Even some of them are uneducated, but they are very good metal mechanic. It means now Mukesh wants to change the profession. He wants to think something different, and he clearly states to this through the writer Anish Jung that I want to change, and change will change the history of this country, this place, Firozabad. They will now do something different, but they require daring, they require courage. So we are going to close this because we will discuss the questions and other things tomorrow. So we are going to close this chapter today. You read the whole chapter again. You must have read that. You read again this chapter, and then tomorrow we will discuss the questions, and your individual questions, individual queries will also be addressed. I'll give you some questions also, some home assignment, and I hope that you enjoyed the lesson. Now, can you just give response to me back? Did you enjoy the lesson? Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Did you enjoy the lesson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I am just unsharing, closing this. Stop sharing. Okay. So we want to know that you had this lesson in part today, and tomorrow we are going to discuss the chapters question. So chapters questions are already there. You can see at the questions also, but before that you have to read that. And tomorrow we will again join at 8:30. Okay. And what I can see that we have 28, 26 joined, but this time we have a less number because some teachers might have just left because of their classes. So now we close the lesson here, close the class here, and you just take some rest, and after that you join your political science class. Okay, thank you. Okay, say
Thank
thank
you,
you.
sir.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
okay, okay.